They smiled in your face and cursed you behind closed doors. They prayed for your downfall while pretending to celebrate your growth. They threw your name into pits of gossip, jealousy, envy, thinking you'd never rise again. But what they didn't know was who you were covered by. What they didn't see was what heaven had already assigned to your name. They didn't know they were playing with a soul that had already been anointed. You were never walking alone, even in your silence, even in your confusion, even in those nights where everything felt like it was collapsing. You were surrounded by divine protection, unseen, unbreakable, unshakable. But let's be honest, it hurt, didn't it? The betrayal, the spiritual attacks, the way your energy was suddenly off, your dreams clouded, your body heavy, your soul disturbed. You didn't have proof, but your spirit felt it. Every spell cast in whispers, every evil eye disguised as concern, every crooked intention wrapped in fake love. You weren't imagining it. The darkness you felt wasn't random. It was warfare, and you were the battlefield. But not because you were weak, because you were chosen, because you carried something they could never touch, but still tried to take down. They thought the isolation would break you. They thought the rumors would destroy your credibility. They thought the setbacks would silence your soul. But here you are, breathing, standing, glowing in a light they can't comprehend. Because the more they tried to curse you, the more heaven covered you. The more they plotted behind your back, the more angels surrounded your front. They don't know how you survived. They don't understand how you're still rising after everything they threw. But you do. Your soul does, because it wasn't by chance. It wasn't by luck. It wasn't your strength that kept you going. It was your divine calling. It was God saying, "No weapon formed shall prosper, not against this one." Every attempt to curse you only made the fire purer. Every attack behind closed doors only activated the favor written into your destiny. And now the spiritual reversal is here. The same mouths that cursed you are choking on their own bitterness. The same hands that tried to pull you down are empty, shaking, reaching for something that no longer exists. Because heaven already rendered its verdict. And it said, "Touch not my anointed." This is the season of exposure, of reversal, of divine justice. You don't need to defend yourself. You don't need to fight the way they fight. You don't need to stoop to their level, because heaven has already shifted the scales. What they meant for evil has turned into fuel, and what they sent your way has returned to sender. They don't even realize yet, but the storm they're going through, the chaos in their mind, the breaking apart of everything they once had, it's not random. It's a mirror, a spiritual echo of what they tried to inflict on you. Because when you curse a chosen one, you curse the reflection of God, and no one curses God and walks away untouched. You are not cursed. You are not broken. You are not defeated. You are protected. You are prophetic. You are rising, and now they know it. So breathe deep, stand taller. The fire didn't consume you. It revealed you. Comment 707. If your soul already knew heaven would handle it, because you don't have to explain your glow. You don't have to justify your peace. You don't owe anyone an apology for surviving. This is your confirmation. God saw what they did, and now they're the ones suffering. The pain of betrayal. They don't know what it did to you, what it cost you to smile when everything in you was crumbling, to keep quiet while your name was being dragged, to walk into rooms that reeked of betrayal and still speak peace. The betrayal didn't just hurt your heart, it rattled your spirit. It made you question everything, your worth, your discernment, your calling. Because how could the people you helped, the ones you prayed for, the ones you loved, turn around and become the very blade in your back? It's a question every chosen one wrestles with, because the attack rarely comes from strangers. It comes from familiar hands, from the ones you never thought would twist the knife, from the ones who once said your name in love, now using it as a curse. You didn't see it coming, and even if you did, You hoped love would be enough. You hoped kindness would melt their coldness. You hoped your light would heal their shadows. But light doesn't always heal. Sometimes it exposes. And when your soul began to rise, when your purpose began to sharpen, when your frequency no longer matched the room, their masks began to fall. The people who once clapped for you started hissing behind your back. The ones who said, "I'm proud of you," now mimicking your voice in jealousy. The ones who came to you for guidance, now warning others not to trust your vibe. And you felt every bit of it, in your body, in your spirit, in your energy. The weight of their jealousy wasn't abstract. It came in waves, sudden fatigue, headaches out of nowhere, sleepless nights. A tightening in your chest you couldn't explain. It wasn't just emotional betrayal, it was spiritual warfare. Because when a chosen one is cursed, the spirit feels it before the mind can even understand it. You started waking up drained. You pulled away from people instinctively. Something in your intuition screamed, "Protect yourself." And that's when the real pain began, the isolation. Because betrayal never just wounds, it separates. Suddenly you were alone, misunderstood, labeled, misjudged. But what looked like abandonment was really extraction. God saw the hidden daggers before you did, and He began to separate you from what would have destroyed you later. It didn't feel like protection. It felt like punishment. You cried, you questioned, you screamed in silence. Why is everyone leaving? Why is everything falling apart? Why do I feel cursed? But the truth is, you were never cursed. You were being cleansed of attachments that could no longer walk with you, of energies that could not rise where you were going, of spirits that smiled at your face but secretly prayed for your fall. You were the lamb, soft, loving, trusting, but they forgot that the lamb belongs to the lion, and lions do not stay quiet forever. You didn't retaliate. You didn't curse them back. You didn't clap back or prove your innocence in a loud display, because your soul knew, it remembered. It whispered to you in the dark, "Let them dig, let them speak, let them curse. I've already marked you. I've already covered you." The most painful thing isn't the curse. It's the realization that some people never loved you. They just loved your light. And the moment your light got too bright, they flinched. They turned. They attacked what they couldn't comprehend. Your presence reminded them of what they weren't willing to heal. Your favor reminded them of what they lost. Your peace irritated the storm within them, and so they tried to dim you, break you, bind you, but they didn't realize you were already wrapped in fire. Heaven had already set a shield around your soul, and every curse they sent, every whisper, every word, every jealous projection was being documented in the spirit. Because when you are a chosen one, your pain is never wasted. Your tears are counted. Your suffering becomes sacred currency. And what they meant for harm becomes the very force that pushes you into power. The pain of betrayal didn't destroy you. It refined you. It taught you to hear with your spirit, not just your ears. It sharpened your discernment. It made you spiritually dangerous. Because now you don't just feel energy. You read it. You respond with silence. And you rise with fire. That's what the betrayal did. It stripped the naivety. It burned the illusion. And it forced your spiritual eyes open. Now you don't beg to be included. You don't cry over empty tables. You don't explain your intuition, because you know what's happening behind the veil. And what's happening is justice. Heaven does not take lightly the cursing of its own. And while you were sitting with a broken heart, heaven was preparing a reversal. You don't have to chase revenge. You don't have to prove your purity. The ones who tried to curse you are now sitting in their own chaos, because God doesn't let the righteous suffer without purpose. You were betrayed to be awakened. You were cursed to be crowned. You were isolated to be elevated. The betrayal was real, but it was also the beginning of your spiritual upgrade. And now they don't even recognize you. not because you've changed, but because you've evolved, ascended, been anointed by fire. So bless the betrayal, bless the silence, bless the curse, because it couldn't touch you. It only revealed who couldn't come. And now you walk wiser, sharper, stronger, not bitter, but better, because what tried to bury you awakened you instead. The curse didn't land, it ricocheted. What they sent with venom has become the very thing poisoning their peace. Because the universe is never blind, and heaven's justice never sleeps. The energy they released into the dark has returned in daylight, multiplied, magnified, mirrored. This is the reversal. You were the target, but now they are the ones trembling. You were the one under fire, but now they walk through flames they lit with their own words. And it's not because you fought them, it's not because you retaliated, it's not because you cast anything back. It's because you were covered, spiritually sealed, divinely insulated, anointed from birth. When they cursed you, they didn't realize what they were touching. They thought you were unguarded, but they didn't see the angels surrounding your name. They didn't hear heaven's voice whispering, "Touch not my anointed." They came for you with intention, with calculation, with subtle bitterness masked in smiles. They wanted to shake your confidence, to distort your vision, to slow your rise. But what they didn't know was that your pain was prophetic. Your wounds were altars, and your name was already written in a book they couldn't erase. When you felt that sudden shift, the exhaustion, the confusion, the strange delays, that wasn't weakness. That was impact. You took the hit, but not the damage, because your spirit absorbed what would have crushed someone else. That's the mark of the chosen. Others break. You bend and expand. Others curse. You pray and evolve. While they were using words as weapons, you were sharpening silence into swords. And now, the sword has turned. The divine mirror has been raised. The frequency has reversed. What was sent to destroy you has become the storm dismantling their facade. And it's not petty, it's prophetic. This is not karma. This is correction. This is divine alignment. This is God's hand saying, "I saw what you did to my child, and now I'm flipping the script." The more they plotted, the more you prospered. The more they doubted you, the clearer your vision became. The more they cursed you in secret, the louder your light began to roar in public. And now they don't understand why nothing is going right in their life. Why they feel blocked, haunted, restless. Why doors are closing. Why peace has vanished. But you do. Because this is how spiritual law works. When you attempt to curse a vessel that is covered, you awaken the power surrounding it. And that power doesn't just protect, it reflects. Their curses didn't just fail, they boomeranged. Their envy didn't destroy you, it revealed them. And that revelation is burning them from the inside out. The people who tried to ruin your name, now no one speaks theirs. The ones who tried to shut doors on you, now knocking on doors that won't open. The ones who gossiped about your calling, now walking in circles without direction. Why? Because when you are chosen, your silence speaks louder than their shade. Your favor fights louder than their curses. Your anointing is your answer. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to show the receipts. Heaven already did. You've been vindicated in the spirit. Now the physical is catching up. And maybe they're watching. Maybe they're pretending not to see. But they know. They feel it. They can't sleep right. They can't think straight because their spirit knows they touched the wrong one. And you don't even need to celebrate, because this isn't about revenge. This is about restoration. Every tear you cried in secret is returning as wisdom and wealth. Every time you doubted yourself is now returning as divine clarity. Every delay they caused is now pushing you into acceleration. Your life is about to move so fast, they'll call it luck. But you'll know it's justice. Because the reversal isn't just emotional, it's energetic. You feel lighter, sharper, more aligned, more free. And it's not just you, it's your entire field. The air around you is shifting. Your name in the spirit is glowing because the curse didn't contaminate you. It activated you. They threw dirt on your name and watered your destiny by mistake. Now they're watching you rise from the very grave they tried to bury you in. This is why you didn't quit. This is why you didn't shrink. This is why your heart stayed pure, because God was building something sacred in the silence. And now, the silence is over. This is your reversal. Your divine turning, your tables flipping in real time. The ones who mocked you are now facing their own reflection. And you're walking in favor, in purpose, in peace. No need for revenge, no need for bitterness, no need to explain how you made it through, because your very existence is the evidence. You are the proof that curses can't crush the anointed, that betrayal can't stop the called, that spiritual warfare only sharpens divine weapons. And your weapon is rising. Your voice, your light, your path, your soul. All of it has been refined by the very fire they tried to burn you with. And now the flame is behind you, pushing you forward, fueling your purpose, lighting your steps. Comment 444 if you feel the power reversing, because this is your time. And the ones who tried to curse you, they're watching the evidence unfold, not with celebration, but with regret, because heaven always vindicates its vessels. And no weapon they formed stood a chance against the force you were becoming the entire time, the rise. You didn't just survive the curse, you ascended through it. You didn't crawl out of the pit, you rose through the smoke, dripping in glory they couldn't understand. Because what was sent to destroy you only revealed what was eternal within you. And now you're not just recovering, you're rising. Rising with discernment, rising with authority, rising with a fire that refuses to dim. They thought they ended you, but they didn't realize they were part of the ritual, part of the process, part of the prophecy. Your enemies became your initiators. Their hate became holy heat. Their curses activated codes in your DNA that had been dormant until the betrayal forced them alive. This is the rise of the chosen, not a slow crawl, not a begging return, but a resurrection, a blazing walk into purpose with scars turned into symbols. Because the chosen don't break, they burst open, they expand, they transform. What felt like the end was the spark that ignited the blueprint. You were always designed to carry something bigger, but the betrayal sharpened your vision. The warfare trained your spirit. The isolation cleared the static so you could finally hear the voice that mattered most. And that voice has been calling you to lead, to speak, to build, to awaken others. This is not the season to shrink. This is the moment to stand. Not in ego, but in energy. Not with pride, but with prophecy. Because you carry a vibration now that breaks chains in others just by walking into a room. You carry a light that doesn't need to prove anything. It simply burns. And that fire was lit by pain, fed by betrayal, and protected by God. You didn't just rise, you were reborn into your calling, into your leadership, into your spiritual identity. You are no longer who they remember, and that's why they can't reach you, because you outgrew their frequency. And you'll never lower your light again to make others comfortable in their shadow. This is the rise of the chosen, those marked by trials but crowned in alignment. And now your role is shifting. You're not the victim, you're not the outsider, you're not the wounded one trying to make sense of what happened. You are the activator, the torchbearer, the proof that divine reversal is real, that curses cannot override calling. Everything they threw is beneath your feet now, and you're using it to build the next stage of your journey. The rise of the chosen doesn't look like revenge. It looks like revelation. It looks like walking in peace while others stumble through storms they created. It looks like wisdom, boundaries, quiet confidence, power that doesn't roar because it doesn't need to. Your energy speaks now. Your aura has weight. Your eyes hold fire. And when people come close, they feel it. They feel what the ones who cursed you couldn't see, that you are different, not better, not louder, but divinely forged. You don't need to explain who you are anymore, because heaven has already marked you, and what's been marked in the spirit cannot be erased in the physical. This rise isn't about fame, it's about function. You are being positioned to do what only you can do, to carry light where others see only shadow, to break patterns in your bloodline, to walk in rooms and shift the atmosphere without saying a word. And the beauty of it all, they tried to make you question who you were, but now you know deeper than ever, you are chosen. And chosen ones rise, not despite the pain, but because of it. Because the pain carved the throne, the betrayal built the altar, and your tears watered the seeds that are now blooming into supernatural alignment. You are not just gifted, you are guarded, not just awakened, but activated. So step into it, the clarity, the calling, the crown. You're not here to keep quiet anymore. You're here to lead, to elevate others, to reflect the divine blueprint back to those who forgot. Your life is a message now. Your presence is a vibration. Your past is the foundation for others' freedom. Comment 444 or 999 if you know it's time. Because this isn't just a comeback, it's a coronation. You're not fighting anymore. You're not defending anymore. You're embodying what was always yours. You were the sacrifice. Now you are the signal. You were the wound. Now you are the weapon. And the very ones who tried to curse your name will one day have to whisper it in awe, because they didn't just witness your rise, they triggered it. And that's the most divine reversal of all. Closing revelation. You weren't meant to break, you were meant to blaze, all along. The curse wasn't your end, it was your entrance. They thought they were silencing you, but they were writing your introduction. Every whisper behind your back became thunder beneath your feet. Every dagger thrown became a compass toward your destiny. You were never outnumbered. You were out of reach. You were never cursed. You were consecrated. And now they feel it. The void, the backlash, the unraveling of what they tried to control, the boomerang of every dark intention hitting the walls they built with pride, because heaven keeps receipts. And heaven always moves in perfect silence until it roars. What they did in secret, God exposed in spirit. What they plotted in darkness, the divine has already reversed in light. Your glow now blinds them, not because it's new, but because they never expected you to survive what they sent. But you didn't just survive, you transfigured. And this is only the beginning. The rise you're stepping into isn't just for you. It's for the souls connected to your voice. The timelines your energy will awaken, the generations your healing will liberate. This was never about revenge. This was never about proving them wrong. This was about proving your spirit right. That quiet knowing you carried, the whisper in the storm, the ache that said, you were made for more. It was all real. It was all leading here. You are the living proof that God's hand doesn't miss, that what is for you will always reach you. No matter the attacks, the slander, or the delay, you are walking evidence that when the world tries to curse a chosen one, it only activates their crown. So wear it, speak from it, build from it, bless from it, not to spite them, but to honor the divine in you that never stopped burning. This is your moment. This is your return, not to the old version of you, but to the truest version you were born to become. Comment 7. If you knew this was your confirmation. Comment 444 if you're aligned. Comment 999 if you're walking into transformation. And if this word woke something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, speak it. Let others hear the same truth you almost forgot. Subscribe, return, and remember this always. The curse didn't work because it never could. God was never late. He was writing your rise in the silence they mistook for defeat. And now, you don't just carry the light, you are the flame.